Welcome to Shenanigans Ensue with
Mary SanGiovanni!
Hi folks, welcome to Cosmic Shenanigans. I'm Mary SanGiovanni, up to shenanigans once again of cosmic proportions. Today we're going to be getting back into fiction. We're going to be talking about the short story Bloom by John Langan. It appears in his new collection, Sefira and Other Betrayals, through Hippocampus Press. It features a foreword by Paul Tremblay, who, as listeners may know, is a past guest on the show. Paul discusses many of the elements of John's style, which make his work so unique. When I think of premier authors in cosmic horror today, John Langan and, of course, Laird Barron come to mind immediately. What I've always liked about John's writing is the subtlety of unfolding secrets, the almost surreal way in which characters interact and events happen, which rewards the reader who persists through the unknown to get to the heart of the mystery. He has a way of offering a turn of phrase which perfectly illustrates an otherwise abstract concept. And let's face it, in John's landscape of cosmic horror, many things are often abstract. Bloom is a short story about to me, what I think, it's a short story about the fragility of human relationships at its heart. One might say there is something Lovecraftian in the way the characters sometimes relegate real feelings to the sidelines, while they have deliberately superficial exchanges or opt not to say anything at all. However, whereas Lovecraft did so because he tended to believe character development was superfluous and insignificant in the face of cosmic discovery, John's characters, on the other hand, are stoically holding together. A brilliant man whose mind has fallen apart, a guilt-ridden son, a dutiful wife who is essentially helpless to assist either. They do what many people do every single day. They stuff down feelings, they bicker, they back off, and sometimes they just go to bed. Now, like much of cosmic horror, this story contains vivid dream sequences. You almost couldn't have cosmic horror without at least one dream sequence somewhere. Now, and that's because dreams in cosmic horror often supersede reality in their significance. We have the failings of a mind on the heels of his discovery of that which can't be unknown, and we have cosmic gods and goddesses. So we have a lot of the elements of a cosmic horror story and a modern cosmic horror story, and that's due in great part to John's technique, to his stylistic technique. We even have the merest suggestion of strange symbols and sigils and an alien language. And that appears in the label on a cooler. The central element of the story around which the plot revolves is a couple who finds a cooler on the side of the road. But it's not a cooler like a beer cooler. It's a cooler like you transport a heart or a kidney in. And it even has a kind of stylized cross on the side. And in picking up this cooler and trying to figure out what to do with it, the events of the story unfold. Now, in John's hands, all of these fairly traditional cosmic horror elements are given a new kind of life, a new framework, and a new significance. We have winged plant-like deities. Okay, monster seems like a strong word, since we really get no other motivation of these entities other than chance and survival instinct. But they're ethereally eerie in ways I can barely do justice. I mean, they're really kind of powerfully creepy creatures that if you're having trouble picturing a winged plant-like deity, there's a reason for that. Because these are the kind of elements that would be difficult for the human mind to picture, to comprehend. They are a different, complex kind of elder entity. Their gestation and birth is not only fundamentally physically and mentally it changes the host, but it fundamentally physically changes reality around the host as well, which I thought was a really neat cosmic horror element to this particular story. Now, what I also find fascinating about Bloom is that, and I'm not sure if this was intentional on John's part or not, but it comes across all the same. It's the distortion of time. As if to suggest, as great cosmic horror sometimes does, the non-linearity and disorder of time as well as space, John often plays with narrative detail and chronology, giving the actions that led up to something after the scene in which the results have already been shown and processed. We get the history between the couple, the work on which the ailing scientist and father-in-law of the narrator was involved, even the rapid decline of the scientist himself. They're told non-linearly, almost to the point where you think you might have missed something until you just keep reading and then realize that you're getting the backstory as a matter of course. Now, further, to suggest the thinness of boundary between reality and dream, or reality and this cosmic horror intrusion on reality, concrete conversation that has quotes, but echoes of thought or conversations in the past, these things are not differentiated with quotes or italics or any other stylistic method. So basically what you get when reading this is that the narration and the thoughts almost flow seamlessly from one to the other. It almost kind of, it's this strange flow that works not just in the content, but in the presentation of the content to suggest cosmic horror, which I always love when writers do that. And not every writer, I think, is necessarily cognizant of that option to that the format, the paragraph and scene breaks, the actual visual presentation of the words can contribute to a certain theme or feeling. But John's got that. His presentation of the prose suggests cosmic horror as much as the prose itself. Now, none of this makes the story difficult to understand, mind you. John is an adherent to the principle of revealing the hidden, or the occult, or the mysterious. He does get to it, but what these stylistic choices suggest, rather, is a disconnection from reality that enhances the cosmic horror feel of it. One of the things I'd like to point out before I close is that, to me, John is a great example of the evolution of cosmic horror into modern day. He, I think, is one of the strongest bridges between traditional cosmic horror and modern cosmic horror, and that there isn't so much a deviation, as in a lot of modern cosmic horror, from the tropes that define the subgenre, so much as there is a repurposing of them. And he does it in such a masterful way that it does almost look like a deviation, but they're there all the same. When you read a John Langan story, you know it's a John Langan story. You also know it is a story of the weird. It is a story of cosmic horror, because his style is so deftly able to convey that in a number of different ways beyond just the words that he's using. So that is, I would definitely recommend this particular collection. It is, again, called Sefira and Other Betrayals. It is through Hippocampus Press. I believe it is available, as of this recording, it is available now through Amazon and other book retail outlets. And it really is, I think, another awesome entry into the great canon of literature that John Langan is building for himself. Definitely worth checking out. And for someone who had asked me recently about stories in which the cosmic horror element is ultimately accepted by the main characters as opposed to staunchly fought off, without giving too many spoilers, there is an element of that in this story. It is not a complete acquiescence to the cosmic horror, but there is a little bit of that in there. So it's definitely in the way that Lovecraft's protagonists, for lack of a better word, sometimes just accepted their fate. there's a little bit of that in there from some of the characters. Okay? So, anyway, if you enjoyed Cosmic Shenanigans, you may also enjoy another show I co-host, The Horror Show with Brian Keene. Both of them are available on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and all other platforms via the Project Entertainment Network. We have Dave Thomas back in the studio again, who is recording me. Dave Thomas has a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/meteornotes. Although he has said that his presence has been a little bit sporadic, he's hoping to get back to regular shows. So, by all means, check him out. Give him some love and support. And we will be back next week with more Cosmic Shenanigans. Thanks for listening. Bye!
The Necrocasticon, the podcast that blends horror and heavy metal properties with a common connection. Brought to you by hosts Token Tom Clock, Max Axe, Smoking Walt Hades, and Osriel Mordecai. Featuring interviews and more with the stars of metal and horror. The Necrocasticon, Mondays on Project Entertainment Network.